So everybody is not Vikram Vijay, so that's why I'm carrying these, right? Okay. So in the quiet of a sleepless night, I stood alone in a hotel lobby. A stranger's grasp on my collar, and that moment changed everything I thought about leadership. Hi, my name is Karthik Arora, and I work with a very dynamic, fast-paced SaaS setup. And for the past several years, I have been involved in building teams, contributing to end-to-end engagement with campuses, right from campuses like yours to IIT, IIMs, etc. I grew up studying at Tryon Internationals, a place of casual comfort, usual routine, and then went on to pursue my degree in hospitality, where we were actually trained for situations which were difficult. Situations which were directly linked to people scolding you on your face, getting to your nerve, and challenging you. But later or sooner, I realized that there was actually no training that actually prepares you for the real accountability. Suddenly, I found myself in a place full of formal suits, months of late night shift, and the time when real accountability began. So 2 years straight, I tried to balance this pressure, and while a lot of people and many of my friends, my family, they told me to quit, I chose to stay. I didn't realize it back then, and I think I was just like you guys, very young and very passionate about what I wanted to achieve. I didn't realize it back then. But that staying and having that grit actually made me realize and made me learn what leadership is actually as a fresher or as a very young person. But, leadership didn't really show its true color to me the night I talked about, a person grabbing my collar, shouting. It actually showed its true color years after this, in 2020 when the whole world was disrupted, and I'm sure you would have felt it. So the pandemic disrupted it too much that the careers looked totally uncertain. The place where I spent initial years of my professional journey and all my graduation years, it all resembled a big question mark. I had two choices back then. One, I feel मेरी life set थी, right? I was selected as the first management trainee, first person to get selected from my college, first person to get selected as an intern from my college. So I thought, yes, I'm the cream, I'm doing well, let's remain with this identity. But I thought, is it actually right? And I questioned myself back then. I was too young to realize that whether I'm doing the right thing or not, but I felt I cannot get stuck. And as I said, I had two choices, either to maintain my identity or build a new one. So what I thought and what I did, that made me confront a very difficult situation. And I would want to share it with all of you because I'm sure there are a lot more people who are much more experienced than me sitting in this room, and a lot of you guys who would be experiencing such situations. And you would feel that disruption really doesn't ask for permission. It will never ask for your permission. It will just enter the game, change the rules, and let you decide what's your next move. And in such situation, you will always find two type of people. One, the people who will feel it's too chaotic for me. Oh, hands up, right? But there would be another set of people who would find this opportunity to reinvent themselves. And when we talk about leadership, we usually talk about authority, experience, titles, but disruption changes all of these rules. Your experience gets outdated overnight. Your titles lose all your certainty. But the only thing that remains and that prevails is your ability to adapt. And how quickly do you guys adapt, right? So I shifted from hospitality industry to the world of technology and talent acquisition. Last year, I had this wonderful opportunity to onboard MPGI. We recruited a few people. They are doing great in our organization. And at that time, when I shifted from this hospitality to talent acquisition and world of technology, I felt like a beginner again. And I'm sure people who are more experienced, and maybe if you guys are coming from some previous experience, you would have felt it. Like everything that you've done before, and everything that you have pursued, everything that you've learned, that no more makes sense to this place. There are new people, new language, new expectations. And the place where I was working, the startup environment, it was so fast-paced, it was so rapid, that there are problems arising in the morning, and the decisions and the solutions are supposed to be made by the end of the day, and at times, maybe by the afternoon. So things move really, really fast, and at first it felt really overwhelming. But overwhelming was for that time. When I see it now, and when I have that flashbacks of that time coming, so I really felt that disruption is not slowing down for anyone. Disruption didn't slow down for me. It will not slow down for you. I'm sure all of you would be going through a lot of news every day. LinkedIn, Insta more, less LinkedIn right now. LinkedIn baad mein aayega, I know, right? So all of you are going through a lot of pages. And the question is, are you, am I, and are all of us actually willing to evolve with it? If not, the story could be really, really difficult for us, right? So we are entering in the age of artificial intelligence, where everything is getting reshaped, designations, workflow, businesses doing how they used to do business while they're doing today is totally different, right? And the only thing that I can guarantee with 100% cashback offer that anyone sitting over in the room, right from first row till the last row, every time you're clicking enter after giving that prompt on GPT, or you're working on Gemini and GEMS, you're doing that, but at the back of your mind, there's one question that every one of us have asked, not only you, while I also have asked myself, will my skills matter tomorrow? And every one of us are only thinking, while we are running these prompts, that will my skill matter tomorrow? But it has been an historical truth, I feel, that technology has never replaced human potential. It has never replaced human potential. It has just changed the way we use it, right? So the point is, now people who will win will be the one who will not only work hard, but they will actually be the ones who put all of their hard work into adapting quickly, working more, working innovatively, and not being a follower, but actually being an innovator. So while I got an amazing opportunity to work with this organization and previous organizations, I have met many leaders, many founders, hundreds of engineers, and thousands of students. And I've noticed two patterns which are very common, which is one, when we talk to a lot of people who are sitting in a room, whether I'm having a GD session or I'm having a one-on-one interview with these people, for the people like you, I always see that people who are making an impact, who are making a disruption, are not only the ones who are academically strong or maybe the best toppers that we call in our colleges, right? But they're actually the ones who were ready to adapt, right? So people who were the most experienced were not actually making the most of the change. The people who were learning, adapting, and taking ownership of moving the needle from the day zero were actually the winners. And the second thing that I noticed was there are always two types of people. I'm sure you guys would have a lot of projects coming from your professors. You would have to complete some live projects, I'm sure, right? So there is one group who will be very good at analyzing, planning, and doing all kind of back-end work. But planning is good. I'm not against planning, right? But I feel there's another group of people who, instead of just putting all of their interest into planning, they actually get into implementing imperfect ideas, going ahead with it, testing it, and these are the kind of people who actually makes a change. And these are the kind of people who quietly become leaders while the others just see them having their perfect plans in their hand. So what happens? You yourself are able to see the visible changes. You're able to see these people growing. And Like, we usually say, no, that practice makes a man perfect. Why not a woman? Because they're already perfect, right? So, so practice makes a man perfect, but there is no perfection. Am I correct? Is there anyone who considers themselves to be a perfect person? No, right? It's obviously a no. And in the similar manner, we do not have a perfect organization. We always have always have those gaps. Either it is about missing skills, either it is about a broken process, or it is just about that one problem that no one is ready to take ownership of. Correct? So, these people who actually grow, who actually bring that disruption, are the ones who decide that yes, you have onboarded me, I am there with you, and I'll bring the change. I'll make the needle moving from the day one. And these people who act becomes the winner. So, with my limited experience and some wonderful founders that I've worked with, I would want to share light on 3 lessons that I've learned personally from the topic that we're discussing today, which is leadership in the age of disruption. That would be 1, leadership actually begins much before the title is handed over to you. While I was talking about that hotel lobby incident, I'm sure you would have heard of it. At that time, I didn't have the authority. I was just a management trainee back then. But my action, my calmness, and my composed behavior actually made us maintain the dignity of everyone around us. And that is why we say that leadership actually begins before it is handed over to you. The second is that adaptability is actually new intelligence. All the good founders, all the big leaders of the world, they're not really investing time into saving what they knew. Like you guys would be investing time into, practicing more and more coding. Will that work? I don't think so, right? So people are not really protecting what they knew. They're actually challenging themselves to know that something they never knew. So they ask difficult questions to themselves and to the world. And that's how they're bringing a change. And in this world, curiosity becomes new intelligence. And the third would be that resilience is actually building influence. There were a lot of moments in my own career where I felt really uncertain about things, uncomfortable about changing stuff. But something that helped me go ahead was resilience. And this resilience over time converts into confidence. And this confidence doesn't come from success, because success is temporary, right? But this resilience stays, and it becomes that currency for you. It becomes that currency for a change. Knowing that I enter any room where I do not know anything of, I'll go, I'll make a change, and I'll make the move, and I'll make the things move forward. And just on a closing note, I feel that in this era of disruption, usually when we talk about leadership, we connect it with technology, innovation, strategy. But I feel that it is more about having courage in uncertain time, adapting when the path truly looks disappearing in front of your eyes, and growing despite knowing that the future is totally unclear. At times, leadership actually teaches you a lesson in the most unexpected times, even in the quiet of a sleepless night when a stranger is grabbing your collar. Thank you so much, everyone. It was nice interacting with all of you. Thank you so much.